ready.
Okay, I'll call the meeting of the McHenry County Zoning Board of Appeals to order. The reason for our hearing today is application number Z25-0017, formerly known as 2025-067.
2024. Oh, it's supposed to be.
It says 2025 on here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so it should be 2024-067.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
The applicant is Johnson Hill Farms LLC, and the request is for an A1C to A1C renewal of conditional use permit 2014-022, allowing for a landscape business with outdoor storage and a future garden center. The address is at 13503 Route 176 in Woodstock. The pins associated with this are 13-30-400-010 and 13-30-400-011. This property is a 20-acre parcel on the north side of Illinois Route 176, approximately 3,270 feet west of the intersection of Illinois Route 176 and Dean Street in Door Township. I'll have the zoning board members introduce themselves and the township in which they reside, starting on my left.
Robert Cozen, Algonquin Township.
Mary Donner, Greenwood Township.
Charlie Eldridge, Richmond Township.
I'm Linnea Kuster, Alden Township.
Vicki Gardner, Nunda Township.
Kurt Schnabel, Riley Township.
Jessica Beverly, Door Township.
This petition has been reviewed and the following items have been received prior to today's scheduled hearing. Publisher's certificate of publication from a newspaper dated February 8, 2025, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. Affidavit of posting was signed and date posted was February 10, 2025, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. Affidavit of mailing was signed and date mailed was February 4, 2025, also meeting ordinance requirements. The survey has been checked against the petition, legal notice, and publication in the newspaper, and all three match. Filing fees have been paid. The endangered species consultation was not required for this petition, and the McHenry County Soil and Water Conservation District report has been received. So those who have never been at a hearing for how this hearing will work is the petitioner will present their case to us why they want this renewal for their conditional use. They'll be asked questions from the zoning board as well as staff, and then if any member of the public has a question at that time, you'll be allowed 3 minutes to ask any questions. After their testimony is finished, we'll have a statement from the staff. They will give us the report, and then at the end of that, if any member of the public has a comment that they would like to give regarding the petition, you're allowed 3 minutes to do so as well. So anybody who's going to give testimony, the petitioner, or anyone who might ask a question or want to make a statement, I'll have to swear you in at this time. So anyone who's going to speak, please raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. So we'll turn it over to you. Sir, you represent Johnson Hill Farms?
My name is Brent Johnson. I represent Johnson Hill Farms. I can't believe it's already been 10 years. I looked at this piece of property, and 10 years ago, actually a little longer than that, to get all the plans and everything approved. But went through the process, and the board granted me a conditional use to operate a landscape company, and I've been doing that for 10 years. Also with a future garden center, that has not been done, that is not in my immediate plans. I'm looking at just continuing business as we've been doing for the last 10 years. Everything has stayed status quo, size, everything, nothing has changed. I had built no buildings. There's no plan of building any new construction or anything like that. Everything is, again, just as it's been going on for the last 10 years. It's been a great vacation. I feel that it is similar like activities such as lumberjacks. Eddie's Landscaping just west of me on the south side. I also make sure that I maintain about 15 acres of alfalfa that's on there that I have farmed, so I feel like it, one, I do it not only just because I think it's pretty and it's low maintenance and I have a farmer that takes care of it. So I think it just adds to, instead of just having to mow it or having it be weeds, or, I have no plans of planting trees or anything like that. I would just continue to use that for, to continue the farming the alfalfa that's there. And it's about 13 acres that we do that. But other than that, that's what I'm looking for the board, is to ask to continue operating business as we have the last 10 years.
Okay. And as far as the approval standards for conditional use, you address those in your application, so your answers, you stand by the answers that you gave in there.
Yes.
All right, I'll open to questions, starting on my right.
I don't have any questions.
I have no questions.
I have no questions.
Charlie?
I have no questions.
Ms. Dunn?
Getting repetitive, no questions.
Mr. Cozen?
I have no questions.
I have no questions either. It sounds like you're doing the same thing that you did, and so it's really no different. How about staff? Ani?
No questions at this time.
Does any member of the public have any questions? Okay, so at this time, we'll take the report from staff.
Okay, as noted, this property is currently zoned A1 with a conditional use permit for the landscaping and a future garden center. The surrounding zoning is A1. There are some A1Cs in the area. Many of them are for landscape businesses as well. Surrounding land use, as noted, this is shown on our GIS system as a agricultural area. It's a mixture of agriculture and single family up and down 176. Future land use on the north side of 176 is listed as open space. This is primarily due to environmental factors associated with the river that's to the north there. On the south side, it is designated as estate for future residential uses. Staff has the same conditions that we had originally put on this 10 years ago, other than updating the site plan.
Does anyone on the board have any? Yes,
Yeah, I have two questions. One, have there been any complaints about his operation over the existing years?
Not that I'm aware of.
And have we received any comments from adjacent communities about this petition?
No, we have not.
Thank you, that's all.
Any other questions?
I do. It indicated on here that because the garden center hadn't been built yet, that they had to come back with it as a new referral.
So technically,
Explain that. Yeah, if you can explain that to me, I'm
Sure.
getting, I just,
no problem. Okay, so when you have a renewal or a continuation, it is something that's already established. So the landscaping business is established.
okay.
The garden center has never been established. So technically, that is a separate conditional use permit in our UDO. So technically, that one has never started, so it's considered a new conditional use permit.
Okay, but we're still considering it part of our regional
It's-
plan?
It's part of the same application.
It's just a matter of how the verbiage has changed over the years on what is required and what isn't. If it
No.
hasn't been or it has been.
No.
So if they hadn't started doing something,
Okay, so think of the garden center as where you have your retail.
Right.
Where people are coming in and going. They've never established that.
correct.
Okay.
But the
But
UDO,
they're
and that's
keeping-
always been that way?
For the last 10 years, you've only had the one conditional use that I can recall, is that correct? Okay, so yeah, they established the landscape business, did not establish the garden center.
Okay.
And just choosing to keep that option open. So 18 years from now, if the marketplace is to their liking,
Another 10.
they could do so without having to go through this process.
Okay.
Okay, does anyone in the public have a comment? Do you have a closing statement?
I just would just say I feel like it's been a great relationship with the county. I feel that we also help, reduce, since it is commercial, reduce some of the tax burdens some of the other residences. Pay my taxes on time and I haven't been late. I just look at, I think I provide for some multiple families this business. I think goes with what's happening around the community, and it's been a passion of mine, so I really enjoy it. I'm a landscape architect. I just love to design outdoor spaces, and we definitely have you go on our website and see some of the work that we do. But it's been, I think, a great union.
Well, thank you for that. I do that. So we will close the hearing portion of this and move on to the voting portion. There are 8 proposed conditions by staff. They're the same that they were 10 years ago. We'll go ahead and read through them. Number 1, the conditional use shall expire 10 years from the date of approval by the McKinley County Board. Number 2, the conditional use shall substantially conform to the attached site plan prepared by Civil Engineering and Land Surveying Services. However, nothing shall limit the construction of agricultural structures on the property. Number 3, the operation of the landscape business shall meet the standards of section 16.56.030.z of the Unified Development Ordinance. Number 4, any storage of de-icing agents shall conform to the standards of section 16.56.50.e of the McHenry County Unified Development Code. Number 5, the outdoor storage of any commercial vehicles and equipment and outdoor sales and displays shall meet the standards of section 16.56.050K of the Unified Development Codes. And 6, the storage of any chemical fertilizers, herbicides, or insecticides shall be limited to an inside enclosed structure. Number 7, if any structure or a part thereof within the conditional use permit area is used for the business and not for a strictly agricultural purpose, then said structure or portion thereof shall meet the applicable, I can't talk today, building codes and obtain all required permits for such a use. And finally, number 8, all other federal, state, and local laws shall be met. Are there any other proposed conditions?
Madam Chairman, I propose acceptance of the conditions as read.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Mr. Eldridge and second by Ms. Gardner to approve the conditions. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Ms. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
Yes.
Ms. Beverly?
Yes.
Ms. Donner?
Aye.
And I'll vote yes, so this is a 7-0 approval of the conditions. At this time, I would take a motion for the approval of the request for the conditional use.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Eldridge, second by Ms. Donner. Discussion, Mr. Eldridge.
Yes, let me note for the record that I drive by this property on a very regular basis. And I also sat on this conditional use when it was originally proposed 10 years ago and voted yes then too. My observation in passing it 15 or 20 times a month is that it fits in very well with the area. Landscape businesses are quite common in the county. I think this is one of the better managed areas of them. We have a good many of them that do create issues with storage of waste materials or piling up of stuff that probably shouldn't be there. That's never been an issue with this facility. It's always been clean and attractive in my observation, and according to staff, there have never been any complaints. It is clearly a business that is needed in the county. A great many people use services such as this. It employs people, and being headed by a landscape architect has more flexibility and the ability to do more than some of the more limited landscape businesses in the county. I believe this is an appropriate use in this particular area. I believe that all the standards have been met, and I shall vote for in favor of the petition.
Ms. Gardner?
I was here 10 years ago as well with Mr. Eldridge. And I do remember you being in here and presenting your case. And we were kind of excited then for it. And I'm still excited for it, so I'm in favor.
Mr. Cozen?
I have nothing to add but that the submission and the statements preceding me all support my supporting this application.
Mr. Schnabel?
I agree with what's been said.
Ms. Beverly?
Ditto.
Ms. Donner?
I drove by there this morning and I thought it looked great, so I have no issues at all.
And I agree with the comments of my colleagues. I'm in favor of the request. So I'll call for the vote. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Ms. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
Yes.
Ms. Beverly?
Yes.
Ms. Donner?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, so this will go to the county board, 7-0.
Thank you very much.
You know, if we didn't talk so long, we could have made this one of those really